Hello, everyone. My name is Guillaume. I'm here, VP of Technology at Beta Virtual Assistants. So it's me again with you today. Where Jessica is still traveling. She's traveling back actually today from some other activities, and then I'm late today because I was stuck in major traffic. There was from some other appointment. There was car accident and road closure. So sorry, I'm late today. So hopefully, just checking if everything is working. Okay, so everything is good. Sorry. So yeah, so it's me again. So welcome everyone. So today I wanted to continue from the last time I discussed the different kinds of income and how they relate to crypto taxes. And so today I would like to discuss the expenses and again how this relates to crypto taxes. So let's jump and let's start. So so basically, when you discuss the different expenses, there's one type of expense that's really what I mentioned before when you're doing trades. So basically, you're converting an asset for another or selling an asset and you get something in return. Of course, this most often there's a fee, some kind of trading fee for doing any kind of transaction. So this is most often this is just treated as a basically the fee can be added to your cost basis. So whatever the amount you paid initially, and now you're selling for a different amount. And so if there's a trading fee, then basically that gets added to your cost basic, or in other words, it reduces the actual amount that you get or the profit that you get. Like if you sell something for $100 and you paid $90, well, you get $10 profit. But of course, if there's a $1 fee, then now you didn't make really $10 profit. You made $9 profit. So the fee is part of the trade, and it's reduced the amount that you get. So you can deduct that on your taxes indirectly because you're just it gets it gets really it's represented in the final capital gain or loss that you're reporting. So that's not usually a problem. The other Another special case sometimes though is when people trade in some exchanges. They have their own kind of special currency, like a Binance token or KuCoin, KCS token, or so sometimes they will give you you get to pay lower fees if you use their own token to pay for the fees. So that means that you get maybe, let's say, instead of whatever 0.5% fee, you maybe get 0.4% or something like that. So of course you need to have that token to buy that token and all that token. So you have some available for your trading fees. So the fee is reduced, but then often this is treated as a separate. So there's a buy and sell or trade transaction, and the fee is like a separate transaction. So then this will not automatically be part of the trade, but like our recommended software can handle those situations. So what it does is basically, because it can tell from the timestamp or it can tell from the trades that you're reporting, you can tell him to trade the third party coin or token third party fee as a part of the trade. So it will calculate that so that the amount of amount of your proceeds or sale they will deduct the fee from that amount. So that's all taken care of by the software. So that's a nice feature that's not available in all software because that's a common thing. So that's mostly for trading fees. If you're just sending transferring coin from one place to another. Let's say you're transferring a coin from one exchange to another, or from a wallet to an exchange, or different things like that. There is also often a transaction fee for transferring um, the coin. However, that's the same coin that you're not converting or selling anything, you're just transferring from one place to another. So unfortunately, in many cases, that fee per se is not really deductible. So it's just a fee that you pay for transferring, but it's not part of a it's not part of a transaction where that triggers a taxable event. So that fee is not deductible in US or Canada, for example. It's not part of a trade. So that normally you not deduct. So those fees will be a separate entry in the tax report, will be other kinds of fee, and you may not be able to deduct that. There's sometimes exception if you're trading as a business or other things like that, or you're in other places, then possibly. So that's why you have to talk about with your accountant or tax advisor. In some other instance, like a business entity, you might be able to, but normally you're not able to deduct those fees. There could be borrowing fees. So if you're borrowing to invest in crypto, those would be another kind of fee. But again, this normally might not be deductible unless maybe that's part of unless in your location you're able to deduct like borrowing fees for investment purposes, assuming that the crypto is considered an investment in your case, or it's part of a business. So again, this you would have to check what happens with those kinds of fees. There's sometimes we use things like general expenses or expenses not taxable, or things like that, which of course again it most likely won't be deductible. If you're spending crypto, let's say you have like a special card where you can buy something with crypto, or so you're spending your crypto, that's not a fee per se, but that's a kind of expense. So, but basically you're buying something with crypto. So that's not really again a taxable event per se. You might have created a taxable event when you converted a crypto to another crypto, but when you're just spending crypto, that just means it's just an expense. Same thing for donation or gift. Well, then again, a gift possibly is not taxable, but maybe a donation could be, maybe you can have a tax reduction of some sort if it's considered a charitable donation or something. Again, you would have to check. But we can, in the software, we can indicate for all the expenses that you have, we can indicate specifically what kind of expense it was. So that's when you get the final report, there will be different amounts for the different type of income or expense, of course. But that's where then the tax advisor or accountant can make sure it puts the amount in the right place based on your personal situation and your country and the tax rule and regulation. But we can tag them as different things, and then of course the report will be representative of those things. But then the question is how are those amounts treated in your situations? But there will be separate things. So spending, donation, gift. Same thing with, let's say you had an amount stolen or hacked or a fraud of some sort. In most cases, this also is not necessarily, it's considered just like a personal loss, like a property loss. It won't be deductible either. But then again, in some instance, you might still be able possibly to prove that you sold for, so what was the value when you bought, when you sold, and possibly there might be other options, but in general, it's not deductible. It's like stolen, hacked, fraud, or lost. Even if you lost something, made a bad use the wrong address or some manipulation, and you lost crypto that you're not able to get back. Other fees again might be just general fees for doing certain kind of transaction or transfer. One that cover most of the type of expense. One thing is, if you, like I said, there could be cases where they charge you some amount for having an account or opening an account, and then again this would be kind of other fees or other expenses. So that probably is the different. If you're doing margin kind of investment or derivative, again, then sometimes there's a margin loss or margin fee. Then again, that's more on the trading side, so that might depend, because then trading, those kind of trading might be more considered income and expense and not capital gain, so that might be treated differently. But we can indicate what kind of investing you're doing, what kind of trading you're doing, and then it's a matter of just identifying how you can report those amounts in your tax report. There's something interesting is sometimes when you did something 1 year and then finish the other year, and sometimes there's a trading date and the settlement date. Again, this might be different in your cases, but then you just need to make sure, are you reporting on the right year? Let's say you did something in December 31st, but then the settlement was January 2nd because there's holidays or something, or weekends. So just make sure that also you have the dates properly, and at least that you're consistent with the way you're handling your dates. Always use the same thing so that you're not like switching back and forth. Also, I was going to add something else related to that, the settlement date, and forgot there was something else about that. Anyway, I might get back to it. Yeah, this is. I have a blank, sorry. So forget that. So, but yeah, the settlement is one thing, but also, yeah, if you invest sometimes in some kind of external things where they manage the money or the crypto for you, and you get back something later on. Again, they might be case where you get your money back. And so possibly, or sometimes what you do is there's like the liquidity pool type of thing. So that's also something we can handle for you, where maybe you kind of put some token in a place and then you get back some other token for just because you're putting some token in the liquidity pool, and then you get back some other rewards or a second kind of token or something. So then when you transfer those in the protocol, and then when you get them back, if you have question about that, I mean, without going into specifics, then we have different ways we can handle that. So to make sure that it's labeled properly for both the income and the expenses, possibly because let's say you didn't really spend that token because you will get it back later or something like that. So that's just like more like a borrowing kind of thing, or a loan. But then also we need to tag those transactions properly. So often people, they just contact us when they have this kind of situation. So I think that covers. Oh yeah, remember the settlement date? I just remember. I wanted just to mention the time too. So just sometimes be careful, because what we see often is people, if they connect the API, it may have a certain time zone, because whatever the API or the connection to your exchange might return a certain time zone for your transaction, and then maybe you're downloading a CSV file. Sometimes the time zone is different for some reason, or sometimes you transfer from one account to another and they have different time zone for some reason. So that's why sometimes we need to make fixes, because the withdrawal should happen before the deposit in the other place. And so sometimes they're in the wrong order. So it's not for expense only, but it just reminded me to be careful about that. So you may realize that even if you're doing stuff on the blockchain, same thing. So sometimes we've seen offset of a few hours or 6 hours. So sometimes we do a batch exit of transaction to shift them forward or backward, like 6 hours, just so instead of fixing each thing one by one, we can just shift all of the transaction from a certain places or from a certain imported by with a specific file, so that it fixes a lot of errors in one. So basically, again, because you want to make sure that the fee or the expense happen after you bought, let's say you had to pay for fees, but you bought the coin first, so you can pay for the fees. But if the fees took place before you bought the coin, then you get to a negative amount of token, which is not possible. So sometimes that's one other cases where the timestamps are wrong, and we can see that because the fees create some negative amount or something like that. So that's cases where you will notice different things like that. So I think that covers it pretty much for today. So again, thanks for being here. And so you'll notice we have a bit of new branding and social media content that we're posting. So let us know if you like it, or and we might even change, I think, the images for the Facebook Live possibly, and things like that. So I mean, we're welcoming all your comments about and anything you're doing, and also we're welcoming all of your questions if you have any specific topic. Again, on Tuesday and Thursday, normally we discuss tax tips of different kinds. And on Saturday, we have the more like the strategy tips, or more like different kind of strategy you can use. So we welcome you to join us again next time. And if you have any question about which software we recommend, or if you want to watch our replay of the latest webinar about crypto taxes, like different tips and also services we provide, so you will get the link in the comments. And then hopefully we'll, if you, of course, again, need any help or know anyone who might need help with their crypto taxes, feel free to refer them to us. And we hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.